For more on Hunger Games and everything Celebuzz, subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Celebuzz. Hey guys, I'm Taryn Ryder. Welcome back to Celebuzz's 100 Days of Hunger Games, day 100, and I have a few of my favorite guests returning today.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm from WelcomeToDistrict12.com and VictorsVillage.com.
Hi, I'm Adam Spunberg. I'm from Hunger Games Fireside Chat. It's hgfiresidechat.com and thefandom.net.
So I think we've all been waiting for this day, March 23rd. The Hunger Games finally hits theaters, and we've seen it, and let's just get right into it. Okay,
Sure.
What did you guys think?
I loved it a lot. I thought it was a great way to adapt a book to movie. They kept so closely to it, and yet were able to add in enough to bridge the gap between book to movie.
Definitely.
Yeah, I thought, what was really unexpected about just viewing it for me, I guess, was we had known so much about the film. You've done such an amazing job here at Celebuzz for the 100 Days of Hunger Games. I mean, you've been following it. Pretty much, you're practically a professional fan site, I would say.
Well, coming from you guys, I take that as a big compliment.
No, and I mean that. I mean, you've covered everything. You follow all the stills. But the movie itself, I thought, you don't know this movie until you actually see the film. It's a little bit different from what I expected, but what I would say is I found it to be emotionally draining in a great way.
Absolutely.
It really eats your soul
Yes.
in a way that, honestly, very few films in this genre, I think, have ever been capable of doing. So anyone who thinks that this is just another, teen girl thing, you're in for a surprise.
Definitely. And one thing that I really liked is when I sat in the theater and watched it, and we've seen the trailers so many times, that's really maybe the first 5 minutes of the film. So you feel like that's all out of the way and you're like, oh my god, I have another 2.5 hours and I have no idea what's coming. So if you think that you know a lot about it, you don't. That'll go out the window in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't show us as much as you think.
No, not at all, which is, I think, really smart because it keeps some anticipation, and I like that they didn't show anything from the arena in the trailers, so that was all new and really exciting. Okay, favorite scene, if you have to pick one.
Favorite for me has to be the cave scene with the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It was just very touching, and it had so much emotion without too much dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. And without too much romance. There's enough, you get the kiss that we've all been waiting for, but it wasn't quite as mushy, if that's what people are nervous about,
Right. It was just very, very real.
It was very real. You just felt like these were two kids who really liked each other. I thought Jennifer and Josh had great chemistry.
There was a scene where I thought Woody Harrelson really surprised me by how good he was as Haymitch. Where Katniss is there, she's absolutely suffering. She's just been burnt, and she's in the tree, desperately in need of ointment. And for a second, there's this look on his face where you think he comes off as, this drunk character who doesn't care at all. And then you see, wait a second, he really cares and feels what she's going
humanized.
through.
That's what I think Woody did a great job, but I love that they added that, so I'm glad you said that.
And then you go straight to him campaigning and getting the sponsors, and I loved how they showed him actually schmoozing with them to try to help her, so it's not just from Katniss's perspective, bringing in the capital aspect. Huge addition, and I think it was a great move on their part.
I love that. I think my favorite scene, which was also an addition, it was the riot scene after Rue's death.
Oh, that was so good.
It was so powerful. So obviously we all know what happens to poor Rue, but they cut to District 11 and they show her father and the people just so upset that their children and their friends were forced to do something like this. And I thought Gary Ross did that beautifully. I got chills. What did you think?
I thought that scene was exceptional. And it shows, I think, the direction that they're going in with the whole series, which is, as much as they're making this about Katniss's story, they're really trying to create a world that we can relate to. And the rebellion, you feel it just surging through your veins, that you're on District 11, the citizen side, and you're ready to see what comes in the next chapter. And I think that's smart, because if you made it just about the games and about Katniss, you'd have a great first movie, but I don't know if you would set up the rest of the franchise
Absolutely.
so they think they really kicked it off well.
I agree. And then we all knew from some of Gary Ross's Entertainment Weekly interviews that he added scenes for Donald Sutherland, who plays President Snow. What did you think about those additions?
I thought they were great additions. A lot of what we know about Snow comes in, the later books,
right,
and also very, implied things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very nice to see how Snow is by himself and with, people who aren't Katniss. And it's also very nice to see the way that he works, his mind works.
Yeah. What about you?
No, I thought that was great, and something that might be of interest to you and the viewers is that the actual premiere, when Gary Ross introduced the film,
mm-hmm.
he made a special note of singling out Donald Sutherland above other people.
I love that.
So he obviously meant a great deal to Gary Ross,
mm-hmm.
and what Donald Sutherland did that was really such a great, I think, move towards the fans when he did get singled out. He stood up and he did a salute roux to the fan section. He's such a classy person, and that's why I think it's hard to hate President Snow, because you love Donald Sutherland.
Love Donald Sutherland. I completely agree. And I just loved seeing, because the scenes were with Donald and Wes Bentley, who plays Seneca Crane, the game maker. And I liked getting sort of a glimpse behind the curtain and sort of seeing how they operated, because in the book it's only from Katniss's view and we have no idea. So obviously by adding some of these scenes in, there were a few things left out, probably just due to time. Was there anything that wasn't included in the movie that you would have liked to have seen?
The part where it's the rain that kind of traps them in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I totally understand why they just can't have such an extended thing.
Right.
But I kind of wish that they had it, and I kind of thought they would.
Yeah. What about you?
One of my favorite moments was when District 11, which is obviously a really poor district, that they're so touched by Katniss's affection for Rue that they end up sponsoring a gift, and they really didn't make that clear.
Yeah.
In the movie, and I realized why they did that. It didn't really fit with their whole rebellion thing,
mm-hmm.
and also there's only so many things you can put in there. But it would have been nice, I think, to show the significance of that and what she meant, not only to her own district, but how she's reaching beyond District 12.
Definitely. When I talked to Gary Ross at the junket, he said that if he could, he wished he was able to add the scenes with the Avox. That he would have liked to incorporate that, but you just can't do it in a 2.5-hour movie. But I would have liked to have seen that too. But again, it's so hard to critique it because I absolutely loved it. Okay, so final review. A, B, C, D, what are we giving it?
I mean, I would give it an A just because, I love the story so much, and it was such a faithful adaptation and a creative one too. I'd give it an A. I wouldn't give it anything lower than that.
What about you?
I'm giving it an A+, because I just think for the genre that it's in, I really hope that the Academy pays attention to this. I mean, we all know they completely snubbed Harry Potter,
mm-hmm.
Which I thought was horrible.
Me too.
And I know the March release is going to make it difficult for them because people tend to forget. And they've gotten that figured out, because I think with Catching Fire coming out Thanksgiving of 2013, they're going to be more in the awards discussion. But I expect this time the critics, I think, are going to go crazy. And that's what's going to make the difference, in my opinion, because we all know kids are going to go see it.
Right.
But it's the adults that are going to really make this, if it's going to reach Lord of the Rings level critical acclaim and box office, it needs that, and I think it's going to get it.
Absolutely, I'm with you. A+. I think Gary did a wonderful job adapting this book to a movie. It's so hard to do, and I don't think he disappointed. And just the cast, I think that everyone from, Jennifer Lawrence to Lenny Kravitz, everybody just brought these characters to life in an amazing way, and I wasn't disappointed. A+, I loved it. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank all of you guys for joining with us for 100 videos. Everyone go see it. March 23rd, The Hunger Games is out, and tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at welcometodistrict12.com and victorsvillage.com.
And for me, I do a podcast every week, The Hunger Games Fireside Chat. That's hgfiresidechat.com. And actually, I'm excited to announce that on our other site, thefandom.net, we've even teamed up with Celebuzz.
That's right.
And we're going to have, so it should, by the time this would be available for you to play now, go to thefandom.net and you'll be able to find out exactly where you would place if you were actually in the Hunger Games. And there was a lot of thought that went into it. The questions are not that simple. There's a formula. And you'll just see if you have the mettle to survive like Katniss and have the right combination of personality traits. So check that out, thefandom.net.
Check it out, and we will see you all back for Catching Fire. Thanks so much.